Winner, take a look at this. It's a little eye candy. Caden Wiegand avoiding a tackle, reversing field to the house. 45-yard punt return in the fourth quarter of the Steelers preseason game against the Bills last night. How do we let this happen?
I don't know, but he looks like the human joystick from Kansas City. And you know what? He's definitely going to make the squad after this punt return.
This looked good, Harry Douglas.
Well, you want to make a team, you make a difference on special teams. When you can eliminate the offense going out there to have to score a touchdown because you scored one on special teams, yeah, that gives you an advantage as a football team.
If you're the punter, you got to get him out of bounds. Like, there's a punting competition going on in Buffalo. Got to get the guy down.
I love it. When all this is said and done, the blame goes squarely on the kicker. All right, let's run the hurry up. Sticking with the Steelers, both Will Howard and Drew Aller got to play a half as they compete for the QB3 spot in Pittsburgh. Howard went 9 of 15 for 69 yards while throwing 2 touchdowns and an interception. In the second half, Aller completed 9 of 18 passes for 88 yards. After the game, head coach Mike McCarthy said that all 4 quarterbacks have earned a roster spot. Mike T, do the Steelers have the quarterback of the future on their roster?
Yes, they probably do between Will Howard and Drew Aller. In fact, I like the 2027 quarterback situation of the Steelers better than 2026. Aaron Rodgers, first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's going to be 43 in December. Couldn't get the ball down the field last year, only 5.8 yards per air attempt. Concerned about that. Give me Mike McCarthy in time. Will Howard over 9,700 yards. Where did he play quarterback?
The Ohio State University.
And Drew Aller, 7,400 yards, 61 touchdowns. That's a lot to work with. These are big, rugged Big Ten quarterbacks with Mike McCarthy. Give them a year, and let's see what we have. Not ideal to have 4 quarterbacks, but we can make it work.
What are we thinking? Like, has Pittsburgh finally turned that corner in the post-Roethlisberger era where Rodgers, we all knew, was going to be a stopgap, but do we have the quarterback of the future?
I'm excited about Mason Rudolph. I truly believe that if Aaron Rodgers goes down, that he can keep this offense operating at a high level and win some games. And that's what it's going to take. Mike McCarthy, he demands a lot of his quarterbacks. The protection, knowing the answers before the test, giving you the opportunity to check routes at the line of scrimmage. And what I've seen from Mason Rudolph, he looks like a starting quarterback to me.
So much of the focus in Pittsburgh has been on the new head coach and the quarterback situation naturally. This is a pretty nasty defense. I don't think you're going to need a quarterback throwing for 5,000 yards and 39 touchdowns to have success this year. What do you make of the position in Pittsburgh right now?
Well, if I had to pick, Will Howard would be my backup quarterback, and then I'm sticking with Drew Aller. You can't keep 4 quarterbacks. And I just think because when you look at Mason Rudolph, we know the upside already and where he is as a quarterback. I think when you look at Will Howard and Drew Aller, there's so much to still be determined. And you can coach those guys up to be the quarterback that you want them to be within this organization. So that's why I would stick with those 2 guys as my backup and then Drew Aller as my third. I wouldn't have Drew Aller as my second quarterback, but still kind of alarms me about him while at Penn State, big games, didn't always show up.
No.
And in particular, we're talking about that game versus Notre Dame in the college football playoffs, right? When you're back
Talk about
in
the
your own
Oregon
territory.
game last year as well.
Exactly. So I will go with Will Howard. This is a guy who won a national championship at Ohio State. He's played with some top-flight wide receivers as well. I will go with him as my backup quarterback.
My only rebuttal is we haven't seen Mason Rudolph in a Mike McCarthy offense and being coached by this offensive staff and this philosophy. From what I've seen in the preseason, he looks like an entirely different quarterback, not just holding a clipboard, not just playing for a second-string spot. He's looked like he's putting everybody on the league on notice because he wants to be a starter in this league.
And I think the balancing act, guys, is you want to win for today, which you can do with Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph, and develop for tomorrow, which you can with those 2 young guys. And look, if you keep 4 quarterbacks, you have to go short. There's always undersized wide receivers from the ACC. You can sign in the middle of the year if you need to. You know, they're very dispensable.
Which conference did you play in again, Harry Douglas?
The Big East.
Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel shined in the Browns preseason finale against the Patriots. With both Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders not playing, Gabriel completed 12 of 15 passes for 186 yards in the first half, and his 3 touchdowns was more than Watson and Shedeur have this preseason combined. Mike T, what was your biggest takeaway watching Gabriel last night?
The Browns made a terrible decision the other day naming Deshaun Watson their starting quarterback, and it was worse after watching this last night. Todd Monken, you're a good offensive coach. Go with Shedeur Sanders. Go with Dillon Gabriel. They are young quarterbacks that have intriguing upside. Let's see what you can get out of them. Deshaun Watson has played 19 games in 6 years with 3 major surgeries. What are we doing? I'm not saying that Dillon Gabriel's going to the Hall of Fame, but gosh, he looked poised, accurate, good fundamentals. Give him and Shedeur a chance.
If you're in this locker room right now and you're watching all this play out, what do you want to see happen at the quarterback position?
I want to see Deshaun Watson start and get back to the quarterback that he was playing for the Houston Texans. And I truly believe that they're going to build this offensive philosophy around him. They're not going to ask him to drop back and throw the ball 25 to 30 times a play. They're going to depend on his legs. You haven't seen his running capabilities in the preseason. They want to keep those hits off of him. So I think that going into game plans each and every week, they'll give him the opportunity to get out on the perimeter, some of those bootlegs, some of those rollouts, and he's going to put up some numbers with the Cleveland Browns. And then Shedeur as the backup, and then I would trade Dillon Gabriel.
So here's what we can't understate. Todd Monken and the front office of the Cleveland Browns, they're in that organization every single day. So they see every single rep from all these quarterbacks. And if they name Deshaun Watson the starting quarterback, now, do I think that's all Todd Monken's decision? No, because when you invest $230 million guaranteed, which is the only guaranteed contract in NFL history, you want to see if you can still get something out of that player if he's on your roster. So first 2 games are on the road. If Deshaun Watson is not good, it's better, in my opinion, when you start with the veteran, then you go to the young player versus starting with the young player and then trying to go to the veteran. And we know Deshaun Watson, because of the booze, might not be too welcome in Cleveland. But if he's not good in the first 2, you can go to Shedeur Sanders.
But he also might be motivated. And when you think about the only multidimensional quarterback in that locker room who can actually use his legs and his arm, it's Deshaun Watson.
Here's why I would push back. Yeah, like, just going into those discussions now, like, it's really hard to say not what they were, but what they're going to be. And is Deshaun Watson of 2026 the same guy he was of the Texans? If he was, it's a no-brainer. He was a great player, but I really go with the young ascending players, so I think they could get better under Todd Monken. I just don't know what Deshaun Watson has left.
Well, let me make this clear. The starting quarterback for 2027 is at the collegiate level right now for the Cleveland Browns. So I get it. We're having this conversation right now about these quarterbacks.
I think Deshaun Watson is going to surprise a lot of people.
Really?
I believe
and
so.
you think they're at a point between that and Shedeur that trading Dillon Gabriel would be the best option if they could get a good price?
Absolutely. I believe that there's a team in Atlanta that's having quarterback issues. Kevin Stefanski drafted him. Why not get on the phone and call Kevin Stefanski? Get Dillon Gabriel out there to the Atlanta.
He's another lefty.
Yeah, I was going to say, it'll be the first time in NFL history 3 lefties in the same room.
All right, let's let that lay for now. I'm sure that would work out just fine in Atlanta. Everything seems to be going on swimmingly there so far. To baseball.
Measures. When you think about, they got arguably the best corner in Trent McDuffie, another good one in Jalen Watson, and then they got the best pass rusher in Myles Garrett. Aaron Donald may come back. Maybe he just doesn't want to play in Australia. And, oh, by the way, you may have your quarterback for the next 10 years. If they had done any of those moves, we'd be like, oh, wow, the Rams had a good offseason. That is a historically great offseason. And the fact that Ty Simpson could be coached by Sean McVay, and as you mentioned, Dante, without any pressure, imagine where he'll be in a year or 2 from now.
Some say hyperbole, some say hyperbole. Mike T, efficient with his use of letters. This is the year, I want to stay with you, Justin Herbert on the other side. Is this the year he's breaking out?
Absolutely. He struggled with pressure, and as Dante talked about in the meeting this morning, with Mike McDaniel and what they'll do from protection standpoint and giving him cleaner reads, he's always had all the ability in the world. He is firmly in the MVP conversation. As long as that offensive line can stay together, look for second-round pick Jake Slaughter, has to play center. Hopefully that'll be okay. If he's protected, look out.
That Chargers team, they could be scary.
Absolutely. I'm picking them to finish at the top of the AFC this year. When you think about that Mike McDaniel and what Harbaugh providing with the toughness, this is a year where Justin Herbert will definitely be in the MVP caliber conversation. Think about what Mike McDaniel comes from. He comes from that Shanahan tree. Yeah. The motions, the shifts, the personnel groupings. Justin Herbert will have the easiest throws of his career this year, and you can almost punch that ticket as MVP this year.
Currently 10-1 to win MVP. He's near the top, open somewhere around 20-1, so there's been money coming in that likes that opinion as well. Coming up, will thrills Pittsburgh last night? Will the Steelers' quarterback situation actually be better next year than this year? One of our analysts says yes, and he will explain why. Plus, T-1 day to